Okay, so what President Robert Mugabe said concerning President Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa zvakataurwa navamugabe pamusoro pavamunangagwa. Mashoko aya akakosha ndava achatibatsira kuti tizive kuti vakuru vezanu vanofunga sei uye why do they do the things that they do. Ko vakuru vezanu paya pavanenge vachitidzvanyirira, vachitirova, vachitidzimira internet, vachitisunga, every bad thing that the Zimbabwean government does, vanenge vasingazvioni here kuti vari kutadza? Kuresva kwavo vakuru vezanu havakuoni here? Vanomirira kuudzwa here kuti vaone kuti aiwa apa taresva, apa takanganisa, apa tavhurika, apa tadarikira? Havazvioni here vakuru vezanu? Well, fortunately we have this video. Kana paine munhu one anonyatsounderstanda mafungiro avamunangagwa ndevamugabe. Vamugabe vakashanda navamunangagwa kwemakore anosvika tofunga kana 50 years together. Even President ED attested to this fact. Hapana munhu muzanu PF anonyatsonzwisisa vamunangagwa kudarika vamugabe. Let's react to this video. Mashoko avamugabe, his last words concerning President Mnangagwa. Let's play on.
You believe that your removal was what? Illegal?
Yes, my removal was forced. I had to resign in order to save the situation, and the people who advised me were saying, if you don't resign, there's going to be bloodshed. There's going to be bloodshed. Please. And some of them.
Just to give you perspective and also just to make sure that we're on the same page. Interview yakaitika sometime after 2017 mushure mekubviswa kwavamugabe pachigaro. Apa vari kutsanangura nzira yavakabviswa nayo pachigaro.
You believe that the new president of Zimbabwe is in his job illegally?
Yes, I believe that.
Why are you saying that?
Because he wasn't elected. Who elected him? He is an imposition of the army. And we are saying, let's...
What do you feel, Eresh? He wasn't elected. He is an imposition of the army.
You believe that the new president of Zimbabwe is in his job illegally?
Yes, I believe that.
Why are you saying that?
Because he wasn't elected. Who elected him? He is an imposition of the army. And
he wasn't elected. He is an imposition of the army. Ndomashoko avamugabe. If you've been following my videos kwenguva yakati you will remember kuti nyaya idzi ndakatodzibata kumavideo ari kumashure. Kana watanga kundifollowa nhasi dzokera dzika nechannel uchamaona mavideo akawanda pandinotsanangura kupinda kwakaita vamunangagwa pachigaro. How that he was not elected. He was literally put there by the army. And in fact avoided Congress. Mugorera vakapinda, he avoided Congress. That's how much he feared and didn't trust the structures of ZANU-PF. He had to first calibrate my structures as ZANU to his liking before he could do an elective Congress ZANU-PF. He is an imposition of the army.
We are saying, let's get that position corrected.
What do you think of Mr. Mnangagwa? Here is a man who describes you as a father.
Yes.
What kind of son has he been to you?
Of course, sons will not always be obedient once to the father. He's got his own views. He's got his own character. And it's a character I perhaps did not quite see and know about him. That of not forgiving. If a person stepped on his, shoe on his toe, you will go after him.
Do you?
And Manzwa, Hanzi, he has this character of not forgiving. If a person steps on his foot or toe, he will go after him. Mashuka, ask Mashuka anga ya citizens. I guess that's why he's called the crocodile. Yeah. Unongoyerekana warumwa. Ukangoyerekana wamakwa negarwe. Garwe rikakumaka. Tozviziva muri ngwena inoruma vanodena. Jonathan makamunyenyena akatizira kuKenya. Garwe rikangokumaka chete. Ukangozi negarwe uyu andichamufariri uyu. Ukangokrosa garwe chete. Hanzi nava Mugabe. Garwe hari regerere. Ukangoritsika tsoka chete pakuperera. Ndozvo kutaugwa nava Mugabe. It's important for you to know your president. My citizens apa ndiri kungoti muzive president venyu. Mashoko aya haasi angu my citizens.
Think he's betrayed you?
In that regard, yes.
He has betrayed you.
He has betrayed, and in not wanting to be democratic, he has betrayed the whole nation, our whole nation. We are topsy-turvy. You know, we used to be pride, not just of Zimbabwe, but of our region, SADC. But we are not that anymore. We are a disgrace to.
We used to be the pride of SADC, but we are not that anymore. We are a disgrace. Mashoko wa Mugabe vachitsanangura new dispensation. Second Republic. He had no kind words for the Second Republic. He said, we used to be the pride of Southern Africa, but now all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, we are a disgrace to the SADC region.
Ourselves, a disgrace to our community, SADC, a disgrace to Africa. Why did we do this? Just for the glory of an individual?
When I was here in November, there were large crowds cheering on the streets. They wanted you to go.
Yes.
Do you accept that your departure from office was greeted by many, many millions of Zimbabweans as a good thing?
But you say the millions, they were not millions. In the ground of Harare, we have a country with about 15 million people. Now, what happened in Harare did not happen elsewhere. These were noises that were well organized. You had the opposite.
Andrew Wanauti, he had full control of his faculties. You can clearly tell. Bobo was incapacitated. The man was not incapacitated. Yes, old. Yes, definitely, 100%, very old. Too old, in fact, to be occupying that position. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. But he was not incapacitated. You can tell because he has full control of his mental faculties. Even remembers, even knows, because he sends us. How far man was totally in charge and in control of his faculties, definitely not incapacitated, as some of you in that video and were saying.
The opposition took a greater part in that demonstration.
When you watched it, what were you thinking?
I didn't watch it. I was told about it. Yes. But you don't move on the basis of noises made. It doesn't matter how strong those noises are. It is your party and the party program. Yes, take note of the complaints. Take note of the complaints and bring them into your system, into your party.
Because you know what people say? They say that for whatever good that you did in liberating this country, people say that over the course of your rule, this country has been ruined by your leadership. What do you say to that?
Ruined. Ruined, of course, no. If anything, there is, in comparison to other countries in Africa, there is greater prosperity here. And people have their land. They won't starve in this country, which in other countries happens.
But there's 90% unemployment, the health service is falling apart, even the education
now
system.
It's only now doing that. Education, we are the model here, you see.
And what about the human rights abuses that so many people
yes,
talk about?
we have been accused of that. And on that side, yes, some errors were done. They continue to be done. Human rights.
Avunzwa nenyaya ma-human rights abuses, political violence. The men did not push back. Akabvuma. It took Robert Mugabe 37 years, because he was in power for 37 years, right? I stand to be corrected. 37 years he was in power. It took him that long to finally realize that party yake yaikomita ma-human rights abuses, that party yake yairova vanhu, party yake yaidambura mutemo that it claimed to be protecting and following and enforcing. Took him that long to finally realize it. It dawned on him all of a sudden after getting removed from power. Oh my God. He finally, with his own mouth, thank God he did before dying, finally with his own mouth, concurred, agreed, accepted that errors were done. Not only that, he said, they continue to be done even after him leaving the office, which tells you that it wasn't just him. He was merely the face of the system. He left, yes, but the system remained intact. And that very system just recently stole the election. Robert Mugabe speaks.
That's a very difficult area. I agree. We offended in regard to that area.
Is that in terms of the election
violence? No, I think it is more in relation to how we handled other people, the opposition, etc., etc.
The violence towards you.
The violence, yes.
You see what people...
How we handled the opposition, the violence, the violence, yes. So, ndavunza mvunzo paya kamu introduction yangu ndikati vakuru vezanu vanenge vasingazizive here, vanenge vachiziva ako pane munhu anorepa asingazive kuti ari kurepa here naimi, kuti wagwa mvuu here, wagwa shumba, wagwa mhuka here. Pane akamboba asingazivi kuti ari kuba, handi kufamba uchinyahwaira ikoko kusatoda kubahwa. Inyaya chete yekuti power corrupts. Power inenge shampopo. When you drink too much power, you get drunk by it. Now, when you are drunk in that state, you are unstable in all your ways. You get what I mean? Like, you can't tell munari completely drunk with it drive yoga tin muno be utswaka. Power darker power. You see, drunk in power. Those vakuru vezanu, they are drunk in power. Vakamwa doro repower rikavadhaka. Now hapana chiri mavari chinovadzosa, chinovaudza kuti wangu apa wanyanya, kwete. You see, the more you have power, the more you want more of it. And because you want to keep having more of it and you want to safeguard it, you will do anything and everything to maintain that power. That means eliminating anything that threatens that power. That's why Kanavachimo government, even though they know what they're doing is wrong, it does not, nothing in them will make them stop doing that wrong thing, because as a starting point, it is necessary that they do those wrong things. Remember, Ndakataura kuti, in an autocratic government, hamuna legitimacy. Legitimacy is the belief by the electorate that those that govern it deserve to be in power. So if they don't believe that you deserve to be in power, it naturally means that you must make them believe that you deserve to be in power. Because there is no loyalty. They are not loyal to you. Loyalty no go when they consent to your rulership, your governorship. When they are consenting, in other words, when they agree. Munwega, every citizen is sovereign. But we surrender our sovereignty. But no is X, but no voter paya. It's an act of surrendering your personal sovereignty. You are surrendering it in good faith to the rulers, the governors. Who are your representatives in government? You are surrendering it, in good faith. Now, when people don't surrender that sovereignty, in other words, they have not voted you. Okay, you put yourself there. That means there is no loyalty. They do not consent to you, to your being in power. That loyalty is not there. So, in the absence of that loyalty now, autocratic governments use force to force people to be loyal. To force that loyalty through fear. That's the reason why they can't stop themselves from using intimidation and force, brute force, to force us to be loyal to them. That's the point.
What we'll say is that you were in charge for 37 years. For the errors that were made, for the problems that Zimbabwe has now, there can really be only one person to blame, and that is Robert Mugabe.
No, just one person. How can you say one person? One person was leading a party, and the party had its own program. But we aren't that. We weren't.
And it was a question press you up. And people say, well, you've been in charge for so long, so surely you are to blame for all of this. And then he says, how can you just blame one person being Yimka, the late RG? He says, you can't blame just me. I was just leader of the party, and the party had its programs. Which programs? Remember, he's already agreed Kuti, the way we handled the opposition was wrong, and even said the violence. So he clearly tells us that, ladies and gentlemen, yes, ndakabva zvangu, but I was just a leader of a system which remains in place. Which system? Irikuti chemedza today.
Bad in comparison to other countries. No.
ZANU-PF said the problem was not with Robert Mugabe, but with Robert Mugabe's wife, that you wanted Grace Mugabe to be the next president.
But that's nonsense. And anyone who becomes president must be a member of the party. She wasn't. And
ayo apa mkuru wa nyeba. Both mkuru apa vati anyone who becomes president of the party must be a member of ZANU-PF, and Grace Mugabe wasn't there. Papa mkuru wa nyeba, may his soul rest in peace. Ayo mkuru apa waka nyeba apa. Mama Grace Mugabe was a member of ZANU-PF. In fact, she was not just a card-carrying member. She was the leader of the Women's League. Aminutu mkuru apa wanga wakita osi apa. Maybe wangu ajaira, you can forgive him. Wangu ajaira ZANU-PF propaganda ka. Wangu ajaira ZANU-PF propaganda, so you can forgive him. Mkuru wedu asapa ano. Regatisati vatu vakanyeba bozu musharuko regati vatu vakapotsa chokwadi. Vakachipotsa daiso chokwadi chakaenda nouku yondo vaenda nouku. Achisi chokwadi chocho kuti mai Mugabe vanga wasiri member of ZANU-PF. Vaisangova member chete vaitu vamutungamiri mu ZANU-PF. She was the leader of the Women's League. Remember kuti she took over from, if my memory serves me right, from Opam Chinguri. Yeah, she took over from Opam Chinguri. Remember my days, haya akanetsa nyaya dzeGamma Talks. Team Shipukuto, the team Gamma Talks. Remember, team Gamma Talks ndio yatungamirwa na Mai Mujuru. Team Shipukuto yatungamirwa na ED. Right? When Did Mtasa is the one who coined the term Gamma Talks. Akataura kuti tichashandisa Gamma Talks kudila nezvipukuto. Gamma Talks. Isi ndo pakabva nyaya yekuti Gamma Talks, faction ya Mai Mujuru, Gamma Talks. So Grace Mugabe, when she became a leader of the Women's League after taking over from Opam Chinguru, then started my interface rallies, going around countrywide, denouncing campaign Joyce Mjuru. And then Joyce Mjuru achizofaiwa. And that's the same thing again that happened when they fired Emmerson Mnangagwa. She went around the country decampaigning him, saying all sorts of things about him, and then he later on got fired. So Mama Grace Mugabe was not just a member. She was actually the leader of the Women's League. So it's not true apa mukuru apa vaka havana kusangana nechokwadi apa vanenge vakamisa chokwadi handisi kuda kuti vakanyepa out of respect. May his soul rest in peace.
They must also be processed within this party system, and that is said, of course, by those who would want to find fault with me. And
some terrible stories were told about your wife, that she tried to poison Emmerson Mnangagwa.
No, but he regretted later. He said, no, it was not our dairy products which had poisoned him. He was poisoned on the plane. That's what he said.
Do you remember what ED vakapoison? I mean, remember nyaya ice cream here ndio kutaura na mkura nyaya ice cream yakambonetsa. I even did a parody about it when I remixed song ya Winky D Garden. Yeah, nichitu sazondijikisa ice cream. Do you guys remember that parody? Ndakatanga kudhara komana. Ndakatanga kudhara nezvemacomedies 2018 and I'm still there. Tiri kurova ndima ende hatisi kuzombomira, tinoda kutowedzera. Kutomirire chiko naimi, tomirireizve.
The food that was given you. No, my wife would never do that. She's a Christian. We are both Christians.
You believe that she's an innocent woman and
No,
you were innocent?
She will never poison. If anything, we used to eat together with Emmerson, the food she cooked. You see, they have tried to, tarnish my wife, even to the extent of saying the degree which she got after hard working. We used to go through her papers, and I think you can count on me to know what is a good paper, and what is a bad paper.
Right.
And
I think I must ask you one final question before I finish. You're the man who liberated this country. You led it for 37 years.
Yes.
What is it that you regret? What is it that you want to happen for Zimbabwe next? And do you think you could be the president again?
No. And the last part, no. I don't want to be the president again. Of course. I'm now 94. You see, I perhaps look younger than yourself, but age-wise, no, I'm 94. But no, even then, I have had my time. Fine, I would have wanted to support Emerson's, bid, but through the party system.
But apa mukuru futi ndo pamwe futi pavanenge vari kunzvingana nechokwadi. He's saying he would have wanted to support Emerson's bid. How was he going to do that when he fired him? Emmerson Mnangagwa was fired. So then, how was he going to support Emerson's bid? How? Emerson makamfire ka. So, even akasungura achibva zoti pasina Emerson border jumper Mnangagwa after he vatiza Zimbabwe. So, I mean, how are you going to support his bid? Apa mukuru apa vakanzvingana nechokwadi zvavo. Kwakaungotaurawo zvavo playing to the gallery, but no.
And the system that we have, the party chooses you as a candidate, then as a candidate, you must be voted for by the people. So you must go through the election process, which he hasn't done at all. And, after working for so many years with him, I didn't think he would be the man to reject the election process.
A lot of
Just to give you perspective and to emphasize the point, you see kuti mukuru waramba achongoemphasize nyaya yekuti he hasn't gone through an electoral process. You see, again, I've made tons and tons of videos concerning this issue of how President ED got into power. As a starting point, he's an imposition of the army. I am words of Mugabe, Mbune, Pachezhao. Imposition of the army. He was put there by the army. After being put there, he avoided Congress, or at least an elective one. Right? Congress yakaitwa soon after the coup was not an elective Congress. Idivangu trungwende Congress, but it's not an elective one. Ndovavati ma Central Committee members mese nema Politburo members whatever position yauri yoyo garai momo. Right? So he avoided an elective Congress, and that's what President Mugabe was saying. Kuti, I can't understand. Kuti, after working with me for so long, how can you go down this path? But then you can get to think, when you really think of it, kuti vazosvika pastage kuti va president vamnangagwa kuzopinda mupresidium yeZANU-PF havana kupinda imomo through an elective process, right? Muna 2014, if my memory serves me right, pakafaiwa vamujuru mai mujuru kwete vamujuru Solomon pakafaiwa mai mujuru muna 2014 vamnangagwa vaka-appointwa vakaitwa zvekuiswa vaka-appointwa navamugabe. He was not elected. Remember, muna 2014 constitution yeZANU-PF yaka-amendwa. Before that, ma-vice president yeZANU aita zvekuelectwa, not appointment. Aitwa zvekuelectwa nema-provinces, 10 provinces of ZANU-PF. Right? But when they fired Joyce Mujuru, they amended the constitution in 2014. And by the way, that amendment was actually done by the Politburo, which is actually illegal. Because according to the constitution of ZANU-PF, the Politburo does not have power to amend the constitution. There are only two bodies that can amend constitution in ZANU. Congress, which is the highest decision-making body in ZANU-PF. Number 2, Central Committee, which is the highest decision-making body outside Congress. Right? So, kana musina kukola for an extraordinary Congress, kana nguva ye Congress isati yasvika, the only other body that can amend constitution ye ZANU is Central Committee, not Politburo. But they did so. Politburo yaka-amend the constitution, and then they got rid of the need for vice presidents to be elected. Number 1, kutaite VP aka-appointwa. Number 2, kutaite president akangoiswa ni army, not electoral process. After aiswa ni army, he suspends an elective Congress of ZANU-PF.